the Hollywood casting couch has been a real thing for many years. And we saw it in the Weinstein case. We see it in the music industry with R. Kelly. We see, Diddy under investigation. His house is being raided, allegations of human trafficking. And maybe 2 or 3 decades ago, this wouldn't have reached the public view. And so because it's coming out now, and because some of these allegations go back 10, 20 years, it breeds, some suspicion, understandably so, that this has been going on a long time. I think when it comes to children and pedophile rings, I mean, look, Drake Bell talked about this. Now, were there a series of abusers in the Drake Bell case? No, this seems to be isolated to one predator. But there are other celebrities out there who claim that they were serially abused. And, there's reason to believe that some of this is true. So is there a cabal of blood-drinking pedophiles in Hollywood? Probably not. Has this been an issue, and does it continue to be an issue because unfettered, unregulated, unlimited between adults and children can breed exploitation? Yeah, it's a problem. And it's also a problem online when you have parents exploiting their children to make money on YouTube or on Instagram, where you've got mothers having their teenage daughters pose in scantily clad outfits under the guise of trying on makeup or, being a fashion model or an influencer. And you've got guys signing up for this who are pedophiles, who are predators. And that kind of exploitation is just as bad as anything that goes on in Hollywood. But yeah, anytime you have unchecked access between adults and the children have a motivation and incentive to please the adult, it has the potential for exploitation. There's no question. And so it breeds suspicion when you see that environment created over and over again.
On the topic of the elite, I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear this, but I heard you talk about this in another interview. There was a time where you were doing some investigative journalism into the Epstein case.
Sure.
What was the result of that, and what were the findings, and what were the major roadblocks there?
Well, I had been talking to, in 2015, 2016, some investigators who've been working with, lawyers representing potential victims of Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. And, he had already faced charges, and there was a guilty plea in the case down in Florida, done his time. And there was some pretty compelling evidence that this had continued, that it was a wider exploitation involving human trafficking than had been exposed. And we tried to get pretty fancy with it in terms of trying to fashion some sort of a sting, trying to, figure out a way to catch somebody in the act, in New York or in Florida. And we worked it. And honestly, we just got busy with other stories. And it was the Miami Herald, actually, and Julie K. Brown, the reporter down there, and some others who kept digging and digging and digging away at the story. And it was the Miami Herald and Julie K. Brown who convinced some of the survivors to speak publicly. And that's what turned that case. That's what allowed the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York to close the loop, if you will, and to indict Jeffrey Epstein and arrest him when he came back from France. And the U.S. attorney at the time said so himself. So it speaks to the importance of local news, local newspapers grinding away at these stories. And it speaks to, when you are at a network or you're doing global stories, just because you can't do it initially the way you want to do it, you still have to stick with it if you care about that story. And, the Peter Nygard story, the predator story, and he's still working his way through the court system. The 4-hour series we did for Discovery Plus. I mean, that was 2 years of my life playing a 3D game of chess to put that all together. And the New York Times did some great reporting on it too. A lot of people did. Canadian Broadcast Network did. A lot of people worked that story, but it takes a lot out of you, and you really have to be focused, and you can't do every one of those stories. But thankfully, as as far as I can tell, someone has been up to the task and someone has done it, whether it's been Quiet on the Set or the stuff that I've done or the stuff the Miami Herald did. That's the importance of journalism, whether it's a network thing or you have your own network or whether you're working in local news. That's why this business counts.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please subscribe to the Freedom Pack channel and consider clicking here to watch another video that I think you'll enjoy.